Assalamu alaikum everyone. Okay, students, very good. We have a number of students. Kindly mark your attendance in the chat box before the starting of the class, everyone. Please mark your attendance in the chat box before the starting of class. So for today's lecture, we are going to start off with the next chapter, that is chapter 5, daffodils. So kindly open your books in front of you. All of you, please keep your books open in front of you on page number 50 and 51. Open your books on page number 50 and 51. Today's lecture is from the poem Daffodils. So I am not going to paraphrase the stanzas or nor even I'm going to explain the poem. This is a poem that we have done a number of times. So you are going to explain it stanza by stanza. The students, the previous old students, and for the new students for whom we are doing all this thing. So for the new students, I will explain it by the end of the lecture. So for today, the or previous students, they are going to explain it or paraphrase each stanza of the poem one by one. Got it, everyone? Okay, I think we should start. I just want to have a look at how responses. Okay, open page number 51. Let's start. It's stanza number 1. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Okay, Ji, raise your hands. Who is going to paraphrase the first stanza? Raise your hands, students. It's almost 11:45, and you people have woken up and taken your breakfast. So you are active now. Your energies are 100% with you. So please wake up now. Raise your hands. Who is going to paraphrase the stanza? Be active, students. Saad, Noor, Ishaq, Lamia, Haya, all of you are the students who have prepared this poem a number of times. Yes, Haya, that's good, Haya. Ji, Haya.
Uh, in this stanza has been taken from the poem Daffodils, and it was written by William Wordsworth. In this
Yes,
stanza, the poet says that he was roaming around in the countryside like a cloud
mm-hmm.
that moves over the hills and valleys.
Very
He
good.
came across a number of daffodils that had
Mm-hmm.
grown everywhere. It seems like the daffodils were welcoming the poet to enjoy the beauty of nature.
That's good. Very nice. Very good, Haya. Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Please raise your hands, everyone. Anyone else who can do it? Or should I ask you people on my own? Okay. If you're not gonna raise your hand, Ishaq. Yes, Ishaq. Speak up. Ishaq, why you're not doing it? It's a wastage of time. Noor Fatma, can you do it? Noor, Noor Fatima. or who else can do it? Better please be active. We have done it a number of times, and still I am facing these dumb faces. It's such a disappointing thing. Lamia, ma'am, actually I have some problem with my mic today. Okay, anyone else can do it. Lamia, can you do it? Can you do the same stanza? Alicia?
This stanza has been taken from the poem Daffodils
Ma-
written by William Wordsworth. In this
Yes,
stanza,
Lamia?
the poet says that
Oh my god. What happened? Wait, Lamia, just wait for a while. There is a problem with the internet in this area for a few for some days. So, Ji Lamia, you are unmuted now.
in this stanza, the poet says that he was roaming around the countryside like a cloud. Then he suddenly came across a number of daffodils that had grown everywhere in the surrounding. Um, the daffodils were tossing their heads backwards and forwards, and it seemed like they were welcoming the poet to enjoy the beauty of nature.
That's very good. Very nice, Lamia. Thank you so much. So, in this stanza, the poet William Wordsworth, who is called the poet of nature, William Wordsworth is called the poet of nature. He said that once he was roaming around on the countryside like a cloud means that he was just walking here and there, enjoying the beauty of the nature. And what happened? Just at once, he saw a number of golden daffodils beside the lake and beneath the trees. Means everywhere the golden daffodils were in a great number, that he could see the beautiful daffodils everywhere around him, and they were fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Fluttering means they were moving their heads, they were enjoying the cool breeze, and they were dancing in joy. Fluttering and dancing is a humanly attribute, and the poet has given that attribute to the daffodils. So, in this stanza, the poet has used the literary device of personification to make his poem more beautiful. Okay, stanza number two. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. G. Who's gonna paraphrase this one? Who is going to paraphrase this stanza? Yes, Alicia. That's good, Alicia. G beta.
Ma'am, this stanza has been taken from the poem Daffodils and it is written by William Wordsworth. In this stanza, the poet says that the daffodils were present in a large number, just like stars on the Milky Way. The daffodils were present in an endless line
Hmm.
and were moving their heads forward and backward.
That's good, Alicia. Very nice. Anyone else who can do it? Anyone else, please? Saad, can you do it? Same stanza,
Uh,
please. G beta Saad.
in in this in this stanza, the poet says that the daffodils were present in a large number, like twinkling stars on the Milky Way. Uh,
Yes.
they were moving their head backward and forward, and the poet says that he can see 10,000 daffodils in a single quick look.
That's good. Very nice. Thank you, Saad. Okay. In this stanza, the poet is talking about the number of daffodils, that how many they were in number, that continuous as the stars that shine, that he could see the golden daffodils till the end of his sight, till the end of his side, and he is comparing the golden daffodils with stars because of their great number and twinkle on the Milky Way. And it seems that the poet has compared the stars, daffodils, with the Milky Way. What is Milky Way? Milky Way is the name of a galaxy where a number of stars gathered together and they shine together. So the poet has compared the daffodils with the stars, that the daffodils were gathered in a great number and they were shining like the stars. They stretched in never ending line. Never ending line, again, it's all about the great number of daffodils that he could see daffodils at the end of his side, that everywhere he could see, wherever he is looking, he could see the golden daffodils everywhere, even along the margin of the way. It seems that he could see 10,000 daffodils in just one glance. Glance is just a quick look. So he can see 10,000 golden daffodils in just one glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. That they were tossing, they were moving their heads forward and backward, and they were enjoying the company of nature. When you enjoy something, when you enjoy listening to something, when you enjoy eating something, anything, when you enjoy, so you move your head forward and backward. So similarly, the daffodils were tossing their heads in the enjoyable dance. Got it, everyone? Okay, let's move on to the next stanza. Third one. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. So, who is going to paraphrase this one? We don't have Mahnoor, Fatima, and Mariam in the class today. Do we have? No, we don't have Mahnoor and Mariam today. Okay, anyone who can do it? Ishaq left the class. Okay, anyone who can do it? Wake up, students. Anyone who can do it? Okay, Haya, can you do it?
Yes, ma'am.
Ji beta.
This stanza has been taken from the poem Daffodils, and it is written by William Wordsworth. In this stanza, the poet says that the lakes and waves seem to be dancing in happiness, but the golden daffodils surpass them in beauty.
That's
The
good.
poet could not help himself in being happy,
Very
and
good.
he was spellbound with the attractive beauty of daffodils that he could not think of anything else.
That's very good. Very nice, Haya. Very good. Okay. Uh, can anyone from the newcomers can do it? Afan, is your mic working today? Afan, are you here? Is your mic working, Afan? No reply. Okay. Ansha, can you do it? Not my internet. What do we mean by this? Okay, Ansha, can you try to do it? It's so simple that what is the poet saying? No. Okay, Lamia, you can do it.
Which
The
one?
third one, beta. The
The
waves
waves
beside.
beside them dance.
Gigi, this one.
The stanza has been taken from the poem Daffodils written by William Wordsworth. In this stanza, the poet is saying that um, the waves were looking very beautiful, but the golden daffodils surpassed them in beauty. The poet was lost in the company of Mother Nature that he could not think of anything else. And the poet says that that he had the wealth of nature, which was better than the worldly wealth.
That's good. Very nice. Thank you, Lamya. So, as Haya and Lamya did it, that the waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. That even the waves were enjoying the company of golden daffodils. Not only the daffodils were enjoying the company of beautiful nature, but the waves of the lake, they were enjoying the company of golden daffodils. But the golden daffodils surpassed them in happiness. Surpassed them in happiness means they are more happier than the waves. And in that jocund company, in that beautiful company, what else a poet can do? A poet can only be happy. Can be gay means only be happy in such a beautiful and joyful company. And the poet says that my mind is just full of the sight of these golden daffodils. I cannot think of anything else. I can just think of these golden daffodils. I'm just looking and staring at those daffodils that are enjoying the company of nature. And this is more than the worldly wealth to me. That I am spellbounded with the company of these golden daffodils. Spellbounded means that you are captured, that the poet is captured in the beauty of golden daffodils. So he cannot think of anything else that is all around him. Okay, now the last stanza. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart filled with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. Okay, this is the last stanza. Who is going to explain it? Who is going to paraphrase the last stanza of the poem? Who's gonna paraphrase the last stanza? Kindly raise your hands. Anyone, please. The students who just left after marking the attendance, I will not mark their attendance. I will not send their attendance to the respective teacher. The student who who left the class after just marking the attendance, their attendance will not be marked. Got it, everyone? Okay, Alicia, that's good. Alicia, she raised your hand. She raised the hand. Ji, Alicia.
This stanza has been taken from the poem Daffodils and it is written by William Wordsworth. In this stanza, the poet says that whenever he is in a free or thoughtful mood, the golden daffodils form a picture and provide him company. The poet says that the memory of of the beautiful daffodils is a blessing for him. Whenever he feels sad, his the memory fills his heart with pleasure and peace.
That's good. Very nice. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you so much. Okay, this is the last stanza, and the poet says that whenever, for off means for often, whenever I lie on my couch, I used to lie on my couch in a vacant mood, means without any thought, or I am in a pensive mood, I'm not in a good mood, I am in a sad mood. So the memory of those golden daffodils, they just flash back. They just came into my mind like a flashback, and It becomes the companion, the best companion of my solitude. It seems that whenever I am in pensive mood, the sight of golden daffodils is always a blessing of my solitude. And then what happened after the memory of those golden daffodils, rather the memory of those golden daffodils fills the poet's heart with pleasure, happiness, and his heart started dancing with the golden daffodils, that his pensive mood just vanished after the memory of golden daffodils. Okay, this is a poem. Okay, now the students, the Anshra, Afan, is it clear, beta? Is there anything confusing? Is there anything that you want to ask? Everything clear? Okay, now let's move on to the question answers. Here I have few question answers. What was the poet doing? Okay, that's good, Anshra. What was the poet doing? You can type the answer in the chat box. Leave that answer. Although the answer is written here, leave that answer, that what was the poet doing? Type your answers in the chat box. Be quick. I'm waiting for the answers, please. What was the poet doing? The poet was roaming around the countryside. The poet was, that's good, very nice. That poet was around roaming around the countryside. Very good. Okay. While the poet was wandering, what did he see and where did he see them? While wandering, what did the poet see? Be quick. Be quick in typing, everyone. The poet says that say that daffodils see the daffodils along the side of the lake. That's good, Saad. More answers, please. He saw a number of daffodils that had grown everywhere in the surrounding beside the lake. The poet saw the large number of daffodils beside the lake. That's good. Very nice, Lamia. Alicia, very good. Okay, next question. How many daffodils does the poet see? That the poet say that he saw at a glance. And why does he say so? Why did the poet say that he has seen, rather, how many daffodils he has seen in just a glance? And why has the poet said that he has seen these number of daffodils in a glance? 10,000 daffodils, very good. And why did the poet say that he has seen 10,000 daffodils in a glance? Waiting for the answers, everyone. Waiting for the answers. Very good. Because they were present in large number. Because they were present in large number. Haya, the poet could see almost 10,000 in a single quick look, and he compared them with the stars on the Milky Way because of their great number. That's good, Haya. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Why does it appear that the waves and the daffodils are competing? Very good, Alicia. Okay, why does it appear that the waves and the daffodils are competing each other? There's a competition among the waves and the daffodils, that who is more happier, whether the waves or the daffodils. Quick, please. The time of the class is going to be over. Be quick. Quick in your answers. Why the poet has presented this comparison, that the who is more happier, the waves or the daffodils? These questions would be helpful for your stanza comprehension. These questions would be very helpful for the stanza comprehension. The question in your paper, question number 3, part B. Still waiting for the answers, please. Yes, there is an answer from Alicia. Because the waves were seems to be dancing, but the daffodils were so happy that they surpassed them in beauty. That's good, Alicia. That when the poet saw the daffodils, they appeared to be tossing their heads, and the waves in the company of the nature, they seems to be happy. They were enjoying the beauty of the nature, but the beauty of daffodils surpassed them in happiness and beauty. Okay, next question. What does the first line of the poet tell you? First line of the poem tell you. Saat din. Poet was moving like a cloud that moves freely everywhere. That's good. That the poet was walking like a cloud. He compared himself with a cloud, and he said that he was all alone, moving here and there, enjoying the company of nature. Okay, last slide is identify the figures of speech in the following. I wandered lonely as a cloud. Which figure of speech is used here? The first line tells us that the poet was roaming alone like a cloud. Very nice, Haya. That's good. Okay, this one. I wandered lonely as a cloud. Which part of speech is used over here? Which part of speech is used over here? Be quick. 2 minutes left in the class. What happened, student? As a cloud. Lonely as a cloud. He compared himself with a cloud. Which part of speech is used over here? Be quick. Is it a simile or a metaphor? Even this I am going to tell you. Just think that, is it a simile or a that's good. Thanks God, someone has spoken. That it's a simile. Good, Saad. It's a simile. Fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Which part of speech is used over here? Fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Good, Lamia. Personification. The poet has used personification over here. Okay, continuous as the stars that shine. Continuous as the stars that shine. No, it isn't simile nor a metaphor. It's the repetition of same consonant sound. It's the repetition of same consonant sound. What is the repetition of same consonant sound called? Continuous as the stars that shine. Remember we did that. No, it isn't imagery. Remember we did that. She sells seashells on the seashore. Repetition of same consonant sounds. That is tongue twister. Very good, Lamya. That was tongue twister. What is that part of speech called, in which we use tongue twisters? Tongue twisters are the examples of that part of speech. In the given line, the sound s sound is repeated. So the repetition of same consonant sounds is called alliteration. Alliteration. Tongue twisters are the examples of alliteration. Got it, everyone? Tongue twisters are the examples of alliteration. Okay, students, the lecture is over. That's all for today. Take care of yourselves. Let me tell you once again. I wandered lonely as a cloud is assembly, fluttering and dancing in the breeze is personification, and continuous as the stars that shine is alliteration. Got it, everyone? Okay, students, that's all for now. Take care of yourselves and Allah Hafiz.